and welcome to our weekly Friday Patchnotes discussion, the weekly Icarus update Patchnotes discussion. I'm here with Carl, so I am gonna switch back to Discord. Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah, doing well, and you?
Not bad, not
Right on.
bad. It's Friday again, so yeah, new Icarus
Yeah.
update, and an interesting one this time.
Well, we sort of obviously got the preview last week in regards to what might be coming up.
Oh,
So I do see a very bold couple of words, which is usually good for new and veteran players that maybe have started new characters that we'll be discussing momentarily.
yep. Yeah, this week, week 166, we have World Boss Exotics, we have double XP, and we have extra talent points. The double XP weekend is live, and we have also updated the world bosses, so they will now drop exotics in their loot. Basically, in preparation to start dropping the biomaterials we are gonna need for this new advanced fancy weaponry.
Indeed.
World
Or
bosses,
at least,
yeah,
or at least making it so that if you wanted to make sure that you're familiarized with the for the battle of the bosses, that you actually earn some form of reward, rather than getting nothing, for example.
yeah. Before the world bosses did not have a loot table at all. They have now been given a loot table, including exotics.
You know what might be interesting? You know that the speed run exotic mission of the knife on the worm. We might need to see. I know that we get the drop down reward. If you took the drills, you could still mine the one node there to the right. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if the worm still gives you a fair amount of exotics, how much you could technically earn in a an X amount of
Yeah. Well,
minutes, basically.
there was this one in three chance of the exotics vein being
Yep,
right next to the sandworm.
yep, that's what we did once. So the thing is that it all adds up. So if
Yeah.
the worm also drops, I don't know, because we received 36x, if 36-ish exotics from the how much exotics did we receive from the
I don't recall anymore, to be
yeah,
honest. I'd have
but it's
to
basically small,
rewatch,
like,
but
but it's basically there is that sort of speed running sort of exotic farm method, and now it's going to be a little bit more um, profitable, or yeah, a little
a
bit more
little bit
rewarding.
more rewarding because now you also get exotics from the world boss.
Yep.
But let's go through the patch notes. So, welcome to week 166. We are kicking off a double experience weekend. A great chance to earn those talent and blueprint points that have been evading you. World bosses also have been given a valuable update with lootable resources that include exotics. And thirdly, we have also converted two existing missions so that on completion you will earn additional talent points for your characters, even when they are max level already.
I know what we're going to be doing.
We be going running some of the missions. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So let's jump in and let's have a read, shall we? So as you can see, we have this double experience event currently running. Very nice for indeed either new players who just bought the game and wanna progress a bit faster, or indeed for experienced players who create new characters all the time. Something I'm guilty on as well. First though, a couple of notable improvements. Seeds, tooltips and links are now in the field guide. Uh, Always handy. Clip the player modifiers to be to the bounce, ensuring it doesn't overlap into the player's inventory. You can get like a lot of buffs and debuffs in a row bottom left.
Hmm.
Uh, so far did it like spans half the screen or something.
Probably also depends on what resolution you're playing on.
Not really. I'm playing on 4K, and I've gotten close there a couple of times, but that's because
Okay.
I usually take care of the debuffs as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Don't forget, the debuffs and the buffs are all in the same row, and I've seen people
Yep.
with a with a collection of buffs and debuffs, which is like, okay, I did not know you could collect so many of them at one time, which was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it might have made it easier to just basically, have a queue of positive buffs and a queue of negative buffs. But yeah, if you
Well,
have
they are grouped at
five,
least,
yeah, true.
so no longer in the order in which you got them, but quite a few weeks ago now already, they grouped the debuffs, and then you have like the aura buffs, and then the normal buffs, etc., etc.
Yep.
Cave worms outside caves will now show a small mound instead of rocks. For example, if you run a thumper, then a lot
Hmm.
of cave worms are going to pop up. Also, that mission on Olympus in which you
Yep.
unlock the cave worm weapons.
Yeah. The camera bump. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that one. Yeah. That
they
one's
spawned a
basically
lot of
switched.
cave worms outside. So they
Yep.
all had the like little ring of stones you see in caves. This has now
Yep.
been changed to a dirt mound. Mm, makes more sense.
Yep.
Cave worm carcasses and loot clean up faster than before. Especially nice if you have a lot of them. Then you don't wanna loot them. Then you see a lot of them loot on the ground. I mean the carcasses already were cleaned up like instantly after you killed them, but definitely the loot stayed for a while.
Yep.
Um, Improvements to the sandworm death should mean less instances of the worm floating in midair after death, especially if it dies on a slope and it like falls on the downward side. It was like floating in midair and you could like walk under it. This should now been fixed. Reduce title screen key art image file size from 140 megs to 12 megs. That's a decent decrease.
Yep. Next one's better.
Reduce uncompressed terrain button images from 180 megs to 5 megs. That's what, like 3% or so less.
Do the math again.
Eh, yeah, you're right. Now you're right, 30. Eh,
uh,
now I'm actually starting to wonder. 181,
it's
136,
3000%.
3000.
Yeah, it's like because 100% is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
5 meg.
percent, yeah, times 30,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so it's a lot.
3000%,
That's a
yeah,
lot.
a lot. It's
It's
a
not
big
a,
number.
it's there's a lot of zeros in the number basically, but it's basically that's a massive change. Yeah. So especially if it's the video memory, which it is, so it definitely helps optimize the game on more basically NVIDIA cards, which are very skimpy with their memory. Let's just put it that way.
Well, depends on what card you get, but yeah.
Yeah, the sane people that don't spend like a kidney on a new graphics card, basically.
Well, I saw like some cards popping up for sale already, where the RTM price was like 2.5k. People are selling them
Yep,
for 4k.
yep. That's obviously the scalpers of the 50 series. I mean,
Yep.
even the vendors themselves are getting onto the scalping train, where like sellers like MSI or Asus are basically have adjusted their own original pricing to increase it because of the lack of supply. So it's basically it's a mess on the 50 series, but that's neither here nor
What
there.
else do you
Let's
expect? You had the same on the 40 series, but you had the same on the
yeah.
latest AMD cards as well. I mean, it's
Well,
becoming
they're not
general
out
practice
yet.
nowadays.
Maybe on the Intel, but yeah, it is, it is. But let's carry on then, because I see a
Uh,
beautiful dead worm that contains some exotics in the next picture.
so, this week we got lootable world bosses as promised last week. Now all current world bosses are now lootable, and this will remain true for any future bosses as well. World bosses can be looted the same as other creatures, but they don't require skinning. You can just go up to the carcass and interact with it to access its loot pile, like we saw with the Hammerhead Slug last week. Now
As
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we never looted the
There's
the magma
only one of the
lava,
many
right?
carcasses was the one with loot.
So we never got any loot from the lava crawler thing.
No, the Lava Hunter? No,
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
before before this week.
Okay. Got it.
Lava Hunter, being a world boss, now will give you
Yeah. Yeah.
rewards though.
I'm wondering if that would increase depending on the tier, because like does a worm drop the same amount of exotics as a slug, which basically was way harder, I think. Well, not.
Yeah, the Lava Hunter,
Yeah.
in retrospect, wasn't too hard. Like the
No.
Hammerhead Slug was way harder.
Yeah, especially imagining on doing that fight solo. Yes, that sounds
Yeah.
very interesting.
I've done the Lava Hunter solo. It took time, yes, but it wasn't too bad. Sure,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you have like health elixirs at the ready, and but at least it doesn't slow you down. It doesn't poison you. Sure, it does do like fire damage, so a Scoria armor tier 4 is a handy one fighting the Lava Hunter. But at least you don't get like the whole slowdown. It doesn't split up in multiples and again and merge and split.
Yeah.
Lava Hunter itself was easier.
Yeah. As I agree with.
So all of the world bosses loot have been rebalanced to provide some more of their unique parts than before, as well as granting exotics as one of the rewards, giving you a new way to collect currency for the orbital workshop. Now, their unique parts, I reckon currently,
Yes.
like I know for the Alpha Wolf, the Black Wolf, it's just the Black Wolf teeth. So I
No,
reckon,
I still gets a ton of stringy meat
yeah,
realistically, but
yeah, but stringy meat isn't a unique part.
oh, correct.
The
Yeah.
wolf teeth is the unique part. So I reckon for the Scorpion King it will be the Scorpion Carapace.
Could be.
And for
Yeah.
the
So it
Sandworm
means.
will be the Sandworm Carapace.
So it could be, the fact that you're able to already start farming the items necessary for the Great Hunt.
I'm not
But
sure those are the items we're gonna need for the Orbital Workshop though.
true.
For
All my
the
speculation.
biolab research stuff. I
Hmm.
don't think so. I think, but this is my opinion, I think this is purely in a preparation for this stuff. Like, let's give them a loot table already. And then
Yeah.
all they need to do, once the bio research stuff gets introduced, all you need to do is like add this resource to the loot table. But all the rest is
Yeah.
already in place.
Correct.
That's what I think. Isn't going to be handy, especially for the Scorpion King though, because when fighting Scorpion King solo, you don't really have time to pick up the Scorpion carapaces. The Sandworm one, you end up with tons of them. The Scorpion ones are more rare. Like I said, you don't really have the time to run around the plateau and collect the carapaces if you play it solo. Now, if the carcass is going to give you a number of them, that's definitely going to be handy.
Makes sense.
This week also we get extra talent points. Now, this week, the same way we did with the mission in the null sector, the last mission in the null sector actually, we have added the ability to gain some additional talent points for your characters by completing missions on Olympus and Styx. So once you finish the last null sector mission, all your characters, current and future, get three actually, additional talent points. So I had a level 60 character, all talents used already. I finished the last mission. All of a sudden, I had three extra talent points. All new characters I create, they start with like 3 points already. So your total is, I don't know, you get like 60 levels, you get 1 talent point per level, and then you get like an extra talent point every 5 levels.
Yeah, you get some extra ones
That
on
would
a,
mean
just, yeah.
72 total, so finishing that last null sector mission would bring you to 75. Now there are 2 extra missions, one in Styx and one in Olympus, which are gonna give you the same 2 per, not 3, but 2 per. So from 72 and then went up to 75 with the null sector mission would mean 79 total talent points after you complete these missions again. You have to redo those missions though.
Yep.
It's not like, hey, you did them already, here's your talent points. No, you have to like once more do these missions. Now these missions can be completed as standalone missions or as a part of an open world. Uh, so it's going to make it easier for you if you already have the open world in place with all your equipment and all your resources, etc. Because we're talking about the Nightfall mission in Olympus and the Ironclad one in Styx. The Ironclad, I remember, is where you had to build the sort of like landing pods ish for the pods. The 3 metal shield per pod per landing zone. Where every 15 minutes or so you like received a free shield, complete shield, which you could like call down in a drop pod. But if you have an open world with a lot of materials at already, it's going to be very fast to finish this mission. The Nightfall, I'm not sure what that mission entails. Do you recall the Olympus Nightfall mission?
Not at all, but I'm currently thinking, aren't missions things that you can only run once on your open world?
Once in an open world, yes, you are right.
Which
Darn.
means
So,
if
new
you've
open
run
world.
them,
Yep.
so, well, no, you just drop down, run the mission normally, like you did traditionally.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
The Ironclad is going to be a longer mission because you have to do a lot of mining.
Oh, is it?
But then
Okay.
again, it's a mission, so you don't care about like, let's try to mine as little as possible. No, you just go in with a full space equipment and you like
Yeah.
go ham on the
Leave
mining.
pickaxes, yeah, go ham mining, do the thing, get tech up, get the stuff done, focus on just finishing the
Yeah, but
mission, and that's
I
it.
believe you have to process titanium as well, so you need to go to tier 4 anyway.
Hey, it's good to go back to the good old days where
Oh,
you drop
true,
down
true. I
and you just
totally
sort of
agree.
take 2 steps back. It's not the end of the world, and it will be a breath
Breath
of
of fresh
fresh air.
air. Yes,
Yeah,
I totally agree. So, if you have completed the mission in the past, you will need to complete them again to collect your new talent points. Each mission will provide an additional 2 talent points, which can then be spent in the player talent tree. Once complete, all of your existing or new characters will gain 2 extra talent points per mission. So if you have completed the final null sector mission and you do these 2 again, and you create a new character, you start out with 7 talent points from the get-go. It's gonna make it easier for new characters.
definitely. You could easily get
And yeah,
the HP bar even from starting, from scratch. Plus the small little other buffs that comes with it. So
yeah. Also thinking like maps get progressively harder. Olympus, and then you got Styx, which was a bit harder than Olympus. Then you got Prometheus, which like added an extra level of difficulty. Now Elysium, if this trend continues, Elysium is going to be even harder. So starting a new Elysium character with 7 talent points already is going to be handy.
true.
Okay, let's continue. This week we have the double experience weekend. We are putting on a double XP boost this weekend, so you can jump and gain those valuable levels for more blueprint and talent points. This will run from when the update goes live this morning through to when we remember to turn it off again. So it could be a day, 2 days, could be a week or longer. But hey, especially if you have like a new character and you want to like level fast, go for it this weekend.
Yep.
Right, next week, fixes and quality of life. So next week update, we're dedicating the patch to smaller fixes and quality of life issues. So no new content, but more bug fixing and quality of life improvements. There are people who are like, I don't want all the new stuff, just fix the current game, fix the current issues. Hey, next week's update is going to be dedicated to those things.
It's a good thing, to be honest.
True. I'm not saying Icarus is without issues. It has its fair share of issues. True. But then again, I do like new content equally much. I mean, I can
True.
work around the current issues, mostly.
Well, you want to put down a solid foundation to build upon the
True,
future
true.
expanse. So usually fixing, plugging the holes and putting in the concrete, letting it settle, and then building on top of it in a well-designed and structured approach is probably better than just running around like headless chickens, putting out fires left, right, and center whilst throwing, crates of gold over it. I don't know. Like I said, it's just
Yeah,
chaos.
true, true.
So take 2 steps back, fix stuff, quality of life improvements to make
Oh,
certain things ready,
yeah.
but mostly just do a lot of bug fixes because if you have stability issues or you have crashing issues or you have glitching issues where you lose pets or mounts or
Yeah,
things
that's
or
like
items
one of
or
my biggest points at the moment, yeah.
things don't work or don't switch on or missions get bugged or all these things, I know that you can't fix everything, but
Mm.
dedicating a little bit more time and resources for
No,
fixing things is not a bad idea.
a while ago they put in the patch notes like, hey, we have like one team working on new stuff and another team working on bug fixing. So now focusing the attention a bit more on the bug fixing team and putting them a bit more in the spotlights isn't bad indeed.
Yeah,
And
because
yeah,
usually,
give us bug fixes, please.
yeah, you know how it is. The
Hmm,
shiny new thing makes marketing happy versus keeping the boat afloat,
true.
usually it's like, oh, we don't appreciate our engineers or our IT staff that keep the lights on. It's only the people that sell the products that create more work for the rest that are well rewarded and listened to, basically. And,
Yeah, and
that type of
also
mentality.
nice to get new players, but also look at your current player base, do the bug
True.
fixing. So from that point of view, I'm definitely happy. We're gonna get more bug fix oriented patch next week. Now your support and make these updates possible. The usual patch bundle with your creature comfort pack, more saddles, water and food troughs. The pet companions pack, which gives you more friends of dogs and cats, which also gives you the actual horses. So not the Tyrannus, but like the actual horsey horse.
Hmm.
And the Zebra Rescue Mission, which gives you the only heat resistant, to an extent, heat resistant mount in the game. The Zebra is a mount. Or say, hey, I want to support the desk like as much as I can, and then just go for the complete set bundle, which is actually a dynamic bundle, which is looking what do you have, what you don't have yet. Is only adding what you don't have yet. Uh, because base game, the Styx DLC, the New Frontiers DLC, Outposts, the whole shebang. So if you want to update the team, by all means go forth and buy some DLCs. Keep in mind, the DLCs is not pay to win. Most of the DLCs is cosmetic. Some exceptions like the Zebra Rescue Mission, which is like the only way to get those zebras, but they're basically mounts, just a bit more heat resistant. The map DLCs, Styx and Icarus, and sorry, New Frontiers, they add gameplay. Most of the others is just cosmetic, and the outpost is like if you want to do a bit Icarus light. So less severe weather, less predators, resource respawn, etc. Also worth to mention, because there's apparently also something not everyone knows yet. Those map DLCs, if you play in a co-op, only the one who initiated an open world or a mission, only that person needs to have the map DLC. Everyone else can join. Even if you only have the base game, you can still join. And that is actually something I like about Icarus as well. It's not like everyone who want to play on the Prometheus map needs to have this DLC. No, only the person who starts the prospect. And we have seen this with you as well. I had the New Frontiers DLC way before you. However, you were able to play it.
Yep.
Because I started the prospect.
And I was able to get all the relevant rewards and items and even be able to buy them because of the fact that I joined your session,
Yep.
which meant that the items were not locked behind per said paywall either. Therefore, it was a very consumer orientated or friendly
Yep.
mindset, and thus I did buy it.
Yeah.
But
And like the only thing you could not do is start a Prometheus map for yourself.
pretty much.
Anyway, let's continue with the changelog. New contents. Let's see, basically the new loot table for the world bosses. The one for the Black Wolf, which already had a loot table, stringy meat and Black Wolf tooth, has been updated, so now you also get exotics.
Or they might have removed the stringy meat. You never know.
No, they still have the stringy meat. From what I've seen on Experimental Branch.
Okay.
Additional talent point unlocks have been added to the Nightfall on Olympus and the Ironclad on Styx missions. And like I said, just the same as with the final mission on the Prometheus Null sector. The next one is an interesting one as well, handy for new players who didn't know yet. There are now hints on Styx expeditions, so I reckon in the mission selection tree, as to which expeditions unlocks shortcuts between different biomes.
Mm.
I've seen a player in Discord who was like, "Hey, I just got a game. I landed in the Triangle Lake. Bold choice, but hey, he didn't know. And I can't go to the Arctic. Yeah, that is one of those shortcuts which are unlocked by a specific mission.
Yep, and the same thing for drilling into the desert biome.
Yeah, different mission, but yeah, also a shortcut from the
Of
Central
course.
River towards the desert. Also from the southwest Arctic to the desert, which is one where you had to like walk all the way to the west, up north, and then from the enter the desert from the west, and then run back south, and then put explosives on the other side of the stone wall. That mission, yeah. They added the double experience banner and the actual double experience again for the players. And descriptions are added to the boss carcasses. As for fixes, project-wide asset optimization and cleanup. We have seen some numbers before. 3000% decrease, etc. Something like that. Let's see. Fixed deployable setup. DT validation using half height for nav checks rather than full height. Set up some bespoke exclusive for checking. Update entries. Set up tier 4.
2,600%.
Ah, still very large number. Set up tier 4 troughs to be obstacles to get creatures to only knock over if necessary. Hopefully this will now also fix the problem where on my Prometheus multiplayer open world the dogs get stuck behind the food trough and then try to reach the water trough just behind it.
Pathing, yeah.
I hope that's gonna fix the pathing issue there, yeah. Improve collisions on trough meshes to better support creature navigation. Yes, please, please. 8K textures from landscape shaders that aren't being used have been removed. Yeah, here these terrain button images, key art image files decreased.
Yep.
There's your 2600% decrease.
3,600%.
36. Oh,
Yeah,
you said
3,000.
26.
No, sorry, 3,600.
Even bigger than big. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Project White as well. That one has been mentioned as the first bullet point already. Remove beta weekends UI content. Was it still in the game after 3 years? Wow. Like beta weekend. This is like 166 weeks ago, man.
You never know. Nobody noticed it, probably.
True, true. Fix a warning about the UI hide ammo count for legendary weapons. This is a fix we don't see yet because this is like part of the Great Hunt. Is it gonna be? No, it's not gonna be a DLC, I believe, or is it?
I have no idea if it's an expansion or a DLC. No idea.
Ah,
No
no,
idea. We'll see.
they mentioned it, so I believe this is gonna be a free expansion. I don't know anymore. And
We
then
shall see.
the next one is gonna be a DLC, Elysium. I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
Let's see. Re-added dummy item rewards row referenced in 3 prefabs. Okay. Let's see, anything interesting here? Fixie tooltips already talked about. Just a description for a desert master talent, suggesting move speed is decreased when it's actually increased. Wrong wording.
Yes, although not being in a desert does make, or not wanting to be in a desert usually makes one perhaps run faster, but yeah.
True, true.
Being blinded by a sandstorm does slow you down slightly.
Yeah, and then if you are a desert master, then you know how to handle it, so you can move faster again. Yeah,
Maybe, maybe. But I see that fur was added to the Dracula table. That's an interesting
exactly.
one. Does
Yeah,
make
Drax
sense.
never gave you fur, so Prometheus early gameplay, like you need to build a bedroll. Now, Drax are everywhere,
Yep, at least that's
especially if you drop in the volcanic biome. There isn't a whole lot of fur around.
yeah. No, that's a good point. Maybe if you kill one of the bunnies, that they can maybe drop you 2 fur, and then you just need another 50 to be able to make a bedroll. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
good luck
if you
with
look at the
that. Yeah,
Drax, they do have a bit of fur around the
they do.
front shoulders.
Yeah, they do. And they have a little patch of, fur on their heads, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So,
So
mm,
yes, they do have a little bit of fur. So um, fix chase him down, not being unlockable after quick cleanup in the hunting tree. Is this talent tree issue?
mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, must be. Like quick cleanup, like in the talent tree in the hunting tree part, you unlock quick cleanup, and then it did not unlock the possibility to get the chase him down talent tree. Something to that extent.
It could be.
Yes, I vaguely recall having seen something about this in Discord indeed. Like, hey, look at the talent tree, look at the lines, and like, I unlock this one, why can't I unlock this one next? Something to that extent.
Alright.
Floating deep or deposited sticks has been fixed. Good. Player modifiers to be bounds. No overlap to place inventory. Talked about that one. Adjustments to make the anvil tier 4, so that's the foundry, the constant loop, more subtle as requested. Also removing the auto activate from the audio in the blueprint. Make it more subtle. Oh, I was always like, okay, as soon as you like start crafting there, it's like gonna kadoom kadoom stamp, and gives you the sound and the feel of like this thing like stamping your items. For me,
Right.
it was always part of the yeah. That's how the foundry works.
Yeah. That's what it sounded like. So yeah.
Clear trailing white space at the end of the doggo names. Doggo space. Yeah.
One that I saw over here was, not the small things, but it was fixed some cases where the kill versus skin experience wasn't consistent. Example, skinning a Tyrannus was awarding more XP than killing it.
Yeah.
So skinning should roughly be 50% of the kill XP kill, or the kill XP.
No, have they upped the exp of killing a Tyrannus or downed the exp of skinning a Tyrannus is the question.
That's the good question.
But
I
at least it's more in line with the rest. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. The
That
one,
does mean that it's 50% though, so that's an interesting one to sort of think about it. It's like if that's always the case, I've never really calculated it or known. I thought it was like a flat, a percent, like 300 experience you get for skinning an animal, regardless of how much experience was gained. So it is quite nice to basically, if you kill a mammoth, you get 10,000 experience, not that you do. And then skinning it, you would get 5,000
yeah.
experience, not that you do. But it does mean that it's not like you would just get a paltry 50 experience for skinning a whole mammoth, type of thing. So it makes it nice.
Look at one below it.
Yeah,
Destroying a
yeah.
beehive was giving the same experience as killing a bear. Yeah, hey, I'm glad I fixed that, man. I mean, killing
Well,
beehives
hopefully
like
the
what? 2, 3 stone arrows, 3 tops, even with a crude bow.
Well, hopefully they don't change the experience of the bloaters, because those things currently on the double experience weekend would mean
Ooh,
that just running
yeah.
through the volcanic biome at the moment is like just ding, 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 ding. Just take a bunch of
Yeah, man, you will be
stone
leveling
arrows.
like mad, indeed.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
But the one above actually, correctly large antelope's name to be large antelope and not just antelope. Cause confusion in some hunt quests. Yeah, I've seen this before indeed. You're killing an antelope, you're like, why is it not counting towards the number of antelopes I had to kill for this mission? Oh, it's a large antelope instead of a normal antelope. I can only see it by the size.
mm,
So now at least it's showing you like large antelope in the name. The same with the deer, by the way. You have the deer and you have the large deer. If you have to hunt deer for a simple quest, killing a large deer is not gonna count.
mm, interesting.
So yeah, I mean, you're gonna kill it anyway, but at least then you know why it doesn't count. Because oh, it was a large
Good.
deer, and now with the antelopes you can see it as well. Fixing spawner issue where condensed exotics was not correctly being processed into smaller exotics and enzymes in the cleaning devices. Condensed exotics? Uh, Maybe it's me, but I don't recall condensed exotics being processed in the cleaning device, so in the organic residue cleanser, processed into exotics and enzymes. Maybe this is something from Great Hunt or maybe Elysium, I don't know.
Could be. I can't recall. All I know is the condensed exotics are from the,
You have condensed
um,
enzymes.
no, sorry, condensed enzymes is what I meant, from the enzyme teaser thingamajig.
Actually, this was from a quest in Sticks.
Could be.
Why you had to like where you had to kill animals in the desert, and then they had a few of them condensed enzymes in their stomach, and you had to fill a device. And the device like processes the items and should not like go below zero. Either processes
Mhm.
or it
Stops.
decays. But then you also had to run out and kill a whole bunch of scorps, including a medium scorp, like roughly the size of the Arctic scorp,
Mhm.
especially for this one mission. When we did it, we had a very limited time window to run over there, kill the scorp, grab the thing, run back, and then quickly fill up the device again with the condensed enzymes. I've done that mission relatively recently on my season one character. I don't recall which mission it was, and I thought it was a Styx mission. But that one we had condensed enzymes. The condensed exotics I don't recall. Huh. Okay, they reworked the wall torch, so it gives a little bit more light again.
Okay.
Fix an issue where the cave worms can be looted for sandworm loot.
Yep. I mean, I think I've seen that before, and we've both seen that before. But
Yep.
it's
Hey, at least it would give you a method to get sandworm scales in Prometheus.
yeah,
But yeah, it shouldn't
small
work that
mount.
way, so yeah.
Exactly. I mentioned the small mount to well, the rock mount to small dirt mount change, which was
Yeah,
fine, and doubled some tracing distances for the sandworm diff. IK. I'm not sure what that's tending to be an acronym for, which
no
means
idea.
less instances of the worm floating carcass thing, which is what I also mentioned.
Yeah.
But then future content.
Our favorite part. Time for speculations.
Yes, indeed. So,
Uh, huh. Hide ammo count for the slug launcher. Fillable ammo. Now, this ties into the. Was it in the fixes? Where they were saying something. Yeah, the fix a warning about the UI hide ammo count for legendary weapons. If it's a
yeah,
refillable thing, then there's no
yeah,
like number of ammo. So I think this
yeah,
ties in with that fix.
could be something related to that, or it's also um, like a flamethrower, because there's obviously the
Yeah,
special flamethrower for the twin thingamajig, which you would need to fill up using like a canister, which isn't representing like the traditional, oh, you shoot one arrow or one bullet. No, it's a
exactly.
canister. There is no gauge for it, so it's just, yeah, hard to ammo count for the slug launcher as well now. So it does mean that it's going to be filled up in some special way, maybe. We'll have to
Yeah,
see.
like the current flamethrower with biofuel.
Yeah, for example, yeah,
We had
probably with
this
some.
last week. The like backpack for the slug launcher for the ammo.
Yeah, yeah. There was a mention of that thing as well for different mods to it as well, depending
Yep.
on how you kit it out. It might be like different like mechanics attached to it, adding flexibility to the actual unique, or, or legendary weapons, so to say.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
gonna be a
and then
little bit more on this legendary weapon upgrade in a bit in the future content.
yeah, there's indicated they're talking about adding spawn and destroy audio for ape and rock golem spawners. Again, it's like the
Yeah, the
the
juveniles.
spawn.
We have
Yeah,
seen these seen mentioned of rock
yeah,
golem
yeah,
juveniles,
yeah.
and
And
we've
I
also
think for the ape
seen
as
like
well.
the ape. If he gets down to a certain percentage of health, he's gonna scream, and then all
Yeah.
smaller apes come piling in.
But it does mean that the spawners is like similar mentally as we have in Valheim, where there's a thing that you have to go destroy to try and prevent them from
Yeah,
spawning. So it adds the fact that you do need to keep, the reality of, oh, if you're getting flooded by the ads basically that you need to have somebody keeping an eye out for these spawners to
There
go
is
and try and
similar
get them
stuff
destroyed.
in Icarus as well. There is the one mission on Styx where you get the Mr. Shuffles, where you have to
Mm-hmm.
like get the eggs. There are like three hyena dens nearby which you have to destroy. Also, not sure which map it was. The one where they like basically introduce kiwis.
Mm-hmm.
That mission has a couple of wolf dens, which like spawn wolves endlessly, which you can destroy. Well, which you actually have to destroy for the mission. So Icarus does have a similar thing.
Yep.
Adding static to cover naughty words in dialogue.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's just the censoring, the usual stuff
Yep.
is, but yeah.
And a little bit below here should be something about the text as well. Oh, here, adjusted a few gradient subtitles to censor some colorful language. Hey, Eternity,
Uh,
welcome. Thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Yeah, continue, Carla.
oh, sorry, yeah, sometimes, the colorful language is what I enjoy about certain games. I'm not sure what the PG rating of Icarus actually is. I mean, when you turn 30 years of age, or older than 30, or even older than 20, you usually, don't care about such things,
True,
because,
true, but you know how streaming platforms sometimes are when
ah,
it comes to certain language,
usually you should be able to turn it on and off then,
like
depending on whether or not it needs to be.
demonetizing
Yeah,
videos
uh,
because of strong
there's
language.
also there's also a setting I recall in one of the games where they changed the audio because it's something about the music playing, where it was like, yeah, that it's
Also,
licensed for the game to play it, but they're not allowed to have that music playing on like people streaming it or watching it or generating videos for it. So
yeah,
there's like a setting which excludes certain tracks, which they don't have the full license or
yeah.
isn't open
Where
source
if
or
it's licensed software, if it's not like their
yeah,
own developed software, if
yeah.
it's licensed software, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then it's like to prevent that from basically going there. But that's a very few game. I just recording that once. But
But yeah, so there is gonna be a bit of strong language or colorful language, like they call it here.
hmm which is good.
Interesting.
I mean, when a big ape boss or lava spitting creature or a mammoth stomping thing and a massive
Like
thing which
bleep bleep
crosses the
bleep bleep. What
flames.
is that?
Wh- That would be pretty much any normal human being's response when they see a creature which is about 50 stories tall walking towards them. I think
Exactly.
there would be bricks in your underwear at
Yep.
certain points. At least in mine there would be. Sure as heck, I would need to clean that thing out before I start running for my life. But yeah, that's about that.
Yeah.
Having colorful language would be the least of your problems.
Yeah, having colorful underwear would be more of a problem. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be correct. Yeah, and of a particular color, but that's where you just wear brown pants. That's the simple
Exactly.
solution. Just wear brown pants, and nobody's the wiser. So
Exactly.
as long as you're upwind, not downwind, it's also fine. Yeah.
Updated texture of the patchwork variant of the homestead curtain fabric to match the quilted bed asset. So we're gonna get a quilted bed as well as the curtains in homestead variant.
Yeah, there was a mentioning because they mentioned obviously the silk and all these types of
Huh.
things, and you remember that they introduced or they're planning on introducing, probably something to do with a stitching machine or a sewing
Yeah,
machine or whatever it is.
it is a sewing machine, I believe, and some
Yeah,
kind of what is a spinnery bench or something.
yeah, it was something to that effect. Yeah,
Uh,
to make it, to actually make the the twine or whatever it is. But yeah.
Homestead
Mm.
shutters. Okay. And let's see.
Oh, there's an updated snare trap base class to support varying damage values, setting a
Yeah.
scorpion trap to an existing 50 damage, but an ice mammoth trap to 75. Okay, firstly,
Plus
it's
a
an
call. Yeah.
Yeah, plus cold modifier, but an ice. Oh, okay. So you make an ice mammoth trap with like because they did mention like he does stomping
Well,
damage and it does like ice shards. So maybe you craft this. Yeah, so it's basically like an ice mammoth trap that you can use for defending your base. And then
there
there's the
is
black
this.
wolf trap.
There was this mission in Olympus when
Yeah,
they introduced the little scorpions,
traps. Yeah,
where you
I
had
remember them.
to make the traps and the pincers and stuff with the
Yeah,
pincers and stuff.
yeah, we play around with those a little
Yeah,
bit
so
definitely.
that would be the scorpion trap.
And then there's the true, but then there's a new item that will be introduced, which is the mammoth trap plus a black wolf trap, which is double the damage. So
Yeah,
it's definitely
nice.
nice. But
Also added decoration vintage gem jar and the honey pot. The bullet point above. Eh,
oh, okay, yeah, it could be something
no,
to put on a table
in the
because I do
kitchen.
have a lot
Yeah.
of those things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, snare trap, update with new base class. Yep, yep. Adjustments to sound explained on Rock Golem roll in.
Yeah, they also mentioned something about
They
the
come rolling in.
juveniles. Yeah, they also
Yeah.
mentioned something about the juveniles going into like the rolling mode when they're out of a certain distance. So basically, I think after you're running away, that they basically can't follow you on their normal speed because they're relatively slow-ish. That they would actually turn into their boulder forms, which are probably significantly faster, more well,
Uh,
faster basically. They
and
would
then
lose way
like
more health. Yeah,
hit you when rolling, and then you
yeah,
push to the side, as they said last
yes,
week,
yeah,
instead of.
exactly. Yeah,
And
or
also
directly
when they
behind
get
them even.
out of the rolling motion, they are going to be
Hmm.
weak for a certain amount of time, like
That makes
vulnerable.
sense. Yeah. It's probably like a weakness phase, which allows you, because they also mentioned something about the ricochet icons. So we mentioned that the big rock golem will have like plates which cover up his weak spots,
Yeah, I
which are
believe two or
going to
three
reflect.
weeks ago they were saying something
Yeah,
about that, like the faceplate is
yeah,
like 100% projectile resistant,
yeah.
something to that extent.
It's going to ricochet it, and there's a new ricochet mechanic apparently, which
Yeah,
is, or I haven't seen a ricochet before, but then it's like a new icon that they've introduced.
they're gonna add a
And
new lab for the ape quests, and there's gonna be a little bit more info on this lab later on. Some very
yeah,
interesting info.
yeah. Well, one of those is that they're adding the biolab background assets. So yeah, they're basically working on the biolab and the space assets, and still refining on it. I think that was also mentioned before, and it's just repeated, or they're still working on it. That's possibly what it's also referring to. Mm.
Let's see.
Quarite Great Hunt B. Quarite Great Hunt. Maybe that's the name of the mission to hunt down the golem. Quarite. There's some.
Maybe there's
Yeah.
there's Quarite, three down, and the Rime Tusk. Oh, Rime Tusk
Yeah.
might then be the Ice Mammoth Tusk.
Yeah, yeah, Tusk. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
And
that
in the
does
red
make sense.
Quarite, Quarry,
Yeah.
Rock Golem.
Yeah, that's what
Makes
I'm
sense.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see the slagmite being mentioned the whole time, and there was also like a slag mentioned at the top of the patch notes, and
Stalagmite,
geother
not Slagmite.
yeah. Ah, yeah, stalagmites. Yeah, my bad. I can't even read the English language. Okay, that's perfect. But
It's fine.
it's not my first language, so it's fine. I'll insert excuses over here.
Same here. But hey, for you it's your second language, I reckon. For me, it's only my
Yeah, it
third.
is.
From
Yeah,
for me, it's only my third, you know. So, let's see.
I was
Fix.
going to insert a corny line because it's almost Valentine's Day. It's like my second language is love.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
no.
know you were. No, let's not go that way. Let's not go that
Yeah,
way. Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Fix
So
a
yeah,
bug with
again,
slug grenade where clients and server would have mismatched explosion locations. Well, I'm glad
that
they
would be
fixed that. The,
yes.
ooh,
I'm perfectly safe, and then bang, your head ends up on the boulder 2 states
yeah.
across. That would be not
Also,
fun.
like, come on, man, the grenade exploded right in the face of the thing. And the
Oh
server's
yeah,
like, no, it was
no,
like 15 feet behind it.
yeah. That's still one thing I would like to see a little bit improved is the Now, yet again, I don't know if I can 100% blame my connection for it, but there is sometimes a very large disparity between where I think the creature is based upon what I'm seeing when I'm shooting or, doing any type of activity, and then actually where, it hits. Now, you've got that currently with, headshots of bows where it would semi always, clip into, from a mile away,
Yeah.
but it is like it's supposed to hit his head, like with the polar bears. It's like his head is right there, and I can't hit it. So
Yeah.
it's like a ghosting issue. So hopefully they
Yeah, and
do a little bit on that.
timing issue indeed. So I'm glad I
Yeah,
fixed it for the explosions at least.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Here's the one I mentioned before. The rock golem now becomes vulnerable for a period of time after rolling, allowing
Hmm.
players to freely attack. There's like a couple of them. RG rock golem things. Earthquake, screen shake, increased distance of the burrow, jump attack, screen shake. Add screen shake to the roar. Becomes vulnerable,
Yeah,
etc.
etc., etc. Indeed.
Add a time
Oh
limit
yeah,
to the rolling attack when targeting a player, so it doesn't roll for an unlimited amount of time.
yeah,
Fix a
and
bug
also
where it would fall through the ground when killed. Yeah,
I
that's gonna
saw
be
that
annoying.
now. Yeah, because they're like, it's time to loot. There goes the corpse. Oh
Yeah,
well, that's after all that reward, nothing.
all that work,
That
nothing to show for it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That sounds typical.
So
Uh,
rock golem is gonna be we're gonna be fighting it in a cave apparently because rocks
yeah.
now fall from the ceiling when it
Mhm.
performs a jump attack in the final phase.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they should try and
I wonder what the light is gonna be then when attacking the rock golem. Are we gonna have to fight it in the dark?
possibly there was mentioning of that night vision stuff, so it could be that it's going to be dark in
Ah.
the cave, which does mean you have.
So we're gonna need a couple of flare arrows then as well. Remember when
Oh
we
yeah, yeah,
shot
yeah, yeah.
flare arrows at the mammoth?
Yeah, but it was, I also did it for the one mission where we hunted the. We had to be at night when we were gonna fight
The
the
black wolf, yeah.
black wolf. Yeah, so it was a night mission only. So we've rarely used it, but it would be something to bring back as well.
Yeah.
It's just I can't recall, even when it's in the ground, once it's landed, the light stops, or does it still burn
It
for a
still
couple
it
of
burns
seconds?
for an X amount of time, no matter
Okay,
whether it's in the air, on the ground,
nice.
in a tree, in an
Yeah,
animal, whatever, or in a player.
yeah, still something that'll be useful, I think.
Yeah.
And
So
then
shoot
there's
a couple
adding
of them
dead
arrows in the rock ceiling. So
yeah,
cave.
also have a bow on one of your slots with maybe some cave, flare arrows set up into
Yeah,
it.
like a
That
crude
would,
bow with flare arrows in one
yeah,
hotbar slot to quickly switch to it,
exactly. Yeah,
shoot, and then
yeah,
bang. Yeah,
yeah,
good
something
one,
to that effect.
good one.
They're also adding dead researchers to the ape lab. Now, I'm
Exactly. Told you
assuming
there
that
was gonna
means
be more info of the data, the ape lab, dead
yeah.
researchers, a new
So it's
deployable for the dead prospectors, add
exactly.
new
So it
dead
sounds
prospector materials. Creepy.
so it's like a base. It's like a base location that you have to technically go into and build into or unlock, or I don't know exactly. It's like just, it's a bit odd that it
Question.
wouldn't be like a workshop or anything like that.
Question is gonna be: is this a man-built research lab
Yeah.
to study apes, or an ape-built research lab to study man?
No, it's obviously the other way around, but it is basically, the typical,
I don't
Jurassic
know.
Park scenario
Yeah,
where we played with fire and then cry big dinosaur tears when we get bitten by a, Tyrannosaurus Rex or something somewhere. So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, we played around with genetically modified apes and then guess what happened? They break out and they kill the researchers
yeah.
gruesomely. So yeah, that's, uh, no, that's a big surprise basically.
Well, isn't there a whole film and game series about a similar thing?
Yep, there is a whole TV movie, yeah, but that's not so much because of the experimental, that's just
And
because of the
I'm not
virus.
only talking about Jurassic Park, but the Resident
No, no,
Evil.
yeah. Yeah, that's also true, but there's also the Planet of the Apes and all those types of things. It's a
Yeah,
pretty known thing. Uh, Fixed gargantuan JR desert spawn location
Junior.
being underground. Yeah, because is there a junior? Because I was like JR, that's
Yeah,
junior.
Junior, I'd say. So juvenile one.
Ah, interesting.
Say
Nice.
an ad like we get for like the rock golems and such.
Mhm. Yeah, but I would imagine Junior of the big guy being still bigger than a sandworm, so it's
Or maybe the sandworm is the junior variant. I don't know. I don't know what kind of animal the gargantuan is gonna be though.
okay. Yeah,
If it's a worm variant, then well, then junior might even be the land shark.
it could be. And fixing spelling errors and counts and
Let's see. You spawn edit assets to the plant pots. Slightly more intense spawn UV sound.
yeah.
Display melee damage stats on main inventory window for mounts and pets. Okay. Mission description for the Great Hunt mission 3. So Great Hunt is gonna have his own mission 3 apparently. Yeah, I
Yeah, we
think
have to mention
we
the talent.
knew this already. What was
Yeah,
his
there's
talents?
also well, there was also the talent thing mentioned for it. It
Huh.
was speculated that there might be unique talents which you would choose for the missions because they might be extra difficult, like the solo talent tree, but that's very high speculation.
But it is a
But
possibility indeed, like with the co-op talent tree, with the solo
yeah,
talent tree, and maybe we
yeah,
get a Great Hunt talent tree.
yeah, something to that effect.
Huh?
So there's some ice mammoth pre-built structures for the lab research or research lab that is. So
And let's see, where is that? Oh, here.
yeah, so it's just there's a whole bunch of things. And
Let's see. I'm looking for semi-specific entries here. I've
yeah,
read through those
yeah, I
like
mean, there's a
last
lot of
night.
garbage or a lot of small things, but one of them is like adjusted to
Oh, here.
sandworm.
Adding in. Is this no the? That was something about, and I thought it was one of these. Adding in third-person grip socket for a slug launcher, or fixing hand
Yeah, there
position
is.
slide for a slug launcher. There is something, but I can't find it right now. Where if you upgrade the, and I'm not sure if it's whether it's a slug launcher or the lava hunter flamethrower, where if you upgrade, it no longer needs to go in the utility slot.
Oh, interesting. I didn't read anything like that, but
Yeah, maybe it's
is
still
there?
somewhere down. I don't know, but
Yeah. So then there's the Scorpion rifle ADS2, like with crosshairs. So Scorpion rifle, sandworm crossbows. So it's still working on, the usual type of cool um, weapons, which aren't so I'm thinking there's like a lower tier like weapon, and then maybe the unique boss weapon. Because I'm not sure if a sandworm crossbow would really be as equal to
no.
defeating
The
a
sand
lava hunter.
the sandstorm crossbow is the one which is gonna like shoot out the javelins.
Oh, the spears. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Forgot about that one. Yeah,
So that's like the sandstorm
yeah.
crossbow
Yeah,
good
yeah,
weapon thing.
yeah.
It's all the way there. Okay. Let's see.
So they're adding the three additional fabric material assets to the Homestead curtains, updated the Homestead curtains,
Yeah,
1 and 2 textures, so it's more additional changes to like the items being made.
yeah. Like additional fabric, so you can get different types of curtains.
Yeah,
Homestead's gonna have a kitchen stove, kitchen sink, and filleting. Huh?
yeah. I'm
So
also wondering at some point,
a variant of the fishing bench, maybe,
maybe, but I also remember they were talking about barns and stuff like that. So there was the barn doors, I know there was the
and the saloon
cowboy
doors,
doors,
and yeah.
saloon doors, yeah, yeah, kind of stuff,
Uh,
but they haven't mentioned certain things for quite some time.
I find this one interesting. Ignore collision for the fortification spikes deployment, allowing
Yeah,
them to be deployed more easily. So if you're doing, for example, an enzyme geyser, you put the
yeah,
fortification walls down, you put the spikes on. You can't always put the spikes down because it's like, hey, it's collided with an object.
yeah.
Now if you like, you have to fiddle around and putting it down, and then finally you have it down, and then along comes a level 120 bear, and in 3 swipes destroys the spike. You
Yep.
want to be able to straight away place new spikes. So I'm glad that they ignore the collision for those spikes now. Phew.
Yeah. So updated the workshop deployables to properly destroy when they reach 0 durability.
Workshop deployables, so not
Yeah,
tools, but deployables
the
like
deployable. Yeah,
campfire or drill
exactly. Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
because then it prevents building up these broken items, which you're not certain if you should get rid of it. So if it just automatically, well, if it probably just goes broken on the icon, then that's durability 0. So
Well, if you want to get rid of workshop stuff now, there is the option in the space
yeah,
station to right-click destroy, which now has been there for a while already, but which
exactly. Yeah.
probably gets rid of stuff.
Oh, here's a perfect one for you. Make the great ape more vulnerable to melee attacks. That's perfect
Exactly.
for somebody that likes to go running in with a knife,
Oh
take
yeah.
your knife to a gunfight. Yeah,
But
sure thing.
didn't we read last week something about invulnerable to electro?
Slow. Yep.
To
Slow in
slow,
effect.
yeah.
It was actually not. Yeah, they were
It,
immune to it because it
yeah.
was. Was it immune or like a large reduction to the efficiency, effectiveness? I think it was immunity. It
And
was
it was
immunity
like
to it. Yeah.
slow generic, not only electric, but slow
Yeah.
in generic, so
Slow in
also
general.
frost.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So yes, I'll still try running with my knife and try hitting him
Yeah.
repeatedly, trying to get like at least some of the armor off,
Yeah.
and then get
Uh,
whacked aside by his log-sized club, fly
yeah.
through the air for like 500 feet.
Yeah, I mean, currently the sandworm knocks you back quite a bit.
Oh
Getting
yeah.
walloped by a tree stump by a massively engineered ape isn't going to be more pleasant. So definitely try and avoid that one. And I see that they also updated the
Cre-
weapon rack, static meshes and textures. So that's the weapon rack being mentioned again.
yeah. Creatures can no longer climb the drill or large rocks on the rock golem spawners.
Yeah, like I mentioned,
Creatures.
spawners.
So
Yeah,
if you do get yourself on top of the drill or the large rocks, whatever that's gonna be, you should be relatively safe from the rock golem,
in
or
theory.
at least in
Let's
theory.
put it like in theory. Everything is in theory until they get punched in the face by a log.
True,
That's
true.
pretty much the way it works.
Adding dead miners to the Great Hunt RGA rock golem mining outpost.
Hmm.
Okay. Webmark, yes. Adding stats that can be added to items which mean they no longer require to be
Oh,
carried in a utility slot combined with the one below.
yep.
Adding setup for the Lava Hunter Flamethrower legendary weapon, so when upgraded, it doesn't need to be carried in the utility slot.
So I'm assuming the thing was pretty big because currently the flamethrower is just a regular item, but it does make sense that this massive flamethrower that has dual spitting flames and probably does
Ah,
hopefully more damage would be something of a weapon class where it would actually take a utility slot, which does make sense.
now
And
here's the
therefore
question,
it's
right? You update it. We have seen this backpack for the flamethrower last
yeah.
week mentioned.
Mm, mm,
Will
mhm.
this backpack take the place of your current backpack?
It might, but it might. Yes, it would be obviously because you can only have one backpack,
So
so it
that's
makes
going to be
sense that it
annoying.
would be. It would be, but it's like
You're
the only
losing
thing there
6
is.
inventory slots by default.
Yeah,
12 if you have the Lark
yeah,
Martinez backpack.
that's correct. It's you have to make
Damn.
sacrifices, which is what needs to happen. It's the fact that, for example, you're limited to one legendary weapon unless you have it upgraded. Whatever the mods are going to be, where you like, oh, I'll take the
Nah.
slug
The
launcher.
gauntlet, the gauntlet is not going to use utility slot.
I
That's
don't know.
that's a gauntlet you have like on your hand.
I don't know. It
Actually,
could be
is
like a
this gonna replace the arm armor piece? If so, it will break your set bonus.
That's a good question. It might. It might actually start replacing
Yikes.
backpacks or replacing gear. But yet again, if
Whew.
you don't want things to be too overpowered, but
True, but
utility slots.
that is gonna mean you're gonna have to make sure. Do I want like the set bonus, armor set bonus, or do we want this ape gauntlet?
You still get a partial bonus, but
Yeah, but you
yeah,
lose the stat
still
bonus, and the
benefit
stat
from
bonus can be quite
that.
powerful as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew. Huh.
And then pretty much
Fixing
just
the
running
rock
the.
golem spawners so they spawn the juveniles and not the bosses. Ooh.
Oh,
Whew.
golem.
Imagine you
Oh,
find the you fight the rock golem boss, then
and then another one appears, and then
yeah,
another
so
one
then
appears,
it's
and then there's five
supposed
of them.
to spawn 10 juveniles, and all of a sudden it spawns 10 more bosses. Oh man.
I think that's press the escape key and then go quit launch back to or back
Press
to
Alt
character select.
F4,
Yeah, something to that effect. Because there's no way
starts
you'll.
raging.
Yeah, basically, and that's it. I think for the future content, basically, or the yeah
The
the
patch notes, yeah.
indeed.
So, how's your update
It
status?
updated sometime. It's been updated for some time, so we
Oh,
can
good.
jump into it.
So that means we're gonna take it's 20.25. We take what 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah,
giving me time to prepare the stream and go out for a smoke, grab a new soda. So 10, 15 minutes, and then we will be back with gameplay. Question is what going we do for gameplay? If we wanna kill some of these world bosses, we can't continue our co-op one. We can jump. I don't know actually what open worlds I see, what prospects I all have.
I would say it might not be. If you wanted to kill bosses, then we have to decide on that and where, but we could also start the mission where we get our talent points and then have to build up the base and drop down planet side, a bit more of a traditional thing, but it's up to you what you want to do.
We can go for the Olympus Nightfall. Olympus being a rather easy one. And whilst going for that, we have to tech up to a certain extent anyway. We can also
Yeah,
take out some world bosses.
that's the thing. We have to, do a lot of work, so that'll be busy, busy, busy. So
Alrighty, we're gonna do just that. We'll start one of those, probably the Olympus Nightfall mission, and then if we do find ourselves face to face with a world boss, we'll just quickly take it out.
yep.
Alrighty. Well, then I'm gonna call the stream for now. Uh, Thank you folks for being here, really appreciate it. Uh, I hope you enjoyed watching us go through the patch notes. We go through them so you don't have to. Uh, if you did enjoy watching the stream and you want to get notified next time I stream, feel free to hit that follow button. Or if you watch this on YouTube and want to get notified next time I upload something, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Other than that, like I said, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And I hope we hope we'll see you in 10-15 minutes for subsequent gameplay.